Hey YouTube, welcome to Trevor's Vinyl World. Hope everybody is doing well. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Today I want to talk about the film El Camino. I just got done rewatching this. I've seen it a bunch of times now. I'm not in love with the film, but I just really like Jesse, and I loved Breaking Bad, the show. And I literally binge watched it, and it was literally my favorite show. Um, I guess Sons of Anarchy would rival it. I might do a video one day where I count down my 5 favorite shows of the last, 10, 15 years. But definitely Breaking Bad is one of the top shows. It's so well written. The characters are great. I love all the bad characters. Like they just have so much substance, and there's so much dark humor that I really fell in love with Breaking Bad. Because I'm definitely a dark comedy kind of guy. But anyways, I was looking forward to El Camino, and then when it came out, for whatever reason, I didn't get to the theater, and then I didn't have Netflix. So all of a sudden, like 2 years went by, and I had not seen El Camino. Um, and it would be like a Swiftie not buying the latest Taylor Swift album, and it's just like, why have I not heard or seen this? So finally, I sit down and I watch El Camino, and this is years ago. Um, but I just wasn't that impressed. I didn't hate it, but I also wasn't in love with it. But over the years, I've grown to appreciate it, and I like that Jesse at least got um, what was due to him. One of the things that drives me crazy is like the scene where he's been literally chained up, and he makes crystal meth for these horrible people, and he's literally a slave. Um, and then for whatever reason, Todd brings him with on a quick little road trip so they can get rid of a dead body, and Jesse has this moment where he has a chance to, he grabs Todd's gun, and he could shoot Todd and literally be a free man. And for whatever reason, they just have Jesse's a broken man, and I get it that when people are broken, um, their judgment fails them or whatever. But I think 100 times out of 100, Jesse shoots Todd. But anyways, I digress. Um, what I wanted to talk about is that th- my favorite scene in the whole movie is not the gunfight between Jesse and the one guy that they showed on TikTok all the time, where Jesse is doing like a standoff, one on one, like Western style gunfight. That's not my favorite scene in the movie. My favorite scene in the movie is towards the end when Skinny Pete steps up. Skinny Pete is a junkie. He's a loser. He's, just a dirt ball, but he has idolized Jesse his whole life, and or the whole time that they've known each other. Because Jesse's always had a cool car. Jesse was like a drug dealer before any of them were. So Skinny Pete has just always looked up to him. Kind of like you have that friend or older person that when you were growing up and you were immature, you just idolized them. That's how Skinny Pete was to um, to Jesse. So, anyways, at the very end, or towards the end of the movie, um, Jesse needs this tow truck guy to come and take the El Camino off their hands. But when he comes, there's a tracking device on the El Camino, so the tow truck guy just totally bails. He's like, "Hey, sorry, I got to cover my own ass." When you're a bad guy, you have to fend for yourself. So the tow truck guy leaves. And then Jesse is like, well, I guess I got to take off in my El Camino and have the feds chasing me and everything. Um, but Skinny Pete steps in front of the door. He doesn't let Jesse get into his car. Uh, and Skinny Pete comes up with this idea where Jesse is going to use Badger's car, because Badger has like a dorky car, and then Badger is going to take Skinny Pete's car and drive it to the Mexican border, so that the feds think that Jesse took that car, and then Skinny Pete gets to keep the El Camino, even though he knows that the feds are gonna end up, taking it from him. He gets to take his idol's car. But it's just a really touching and really cool scene where you have this guy, Skinny Pete, who never in his life has been a hero, never in his life probably stuck his neck out for anyone. Um, and it's just kind of like a really cool scene when you really think about it. I think everybody has that, time in their life where, you know, you get to do something for someone you care about, and you don't even think about it. You just want to do it because you want to help them. And I just think it's the best scene in the movie. Um, I really wish that they would have made like maybe a short film about Skinny Pete, because I think this is like one of those things where he does this and it literally changes his life. Um, Sometimes things like that happen where you you're not a hero, you're not like um, Batman or whoever, but when there's someone that you care about and you're able to help them, you don't even think about it. Like the film does such a good job of like showing that, Skinny Pete um, is just there for Jesse more than anybody else. And this is when Jesse is at his lowest and he needs someone. I just think it's really cool. I think it's like one of those things where, not every film has to have a muscular superhero. It can just be regular people that are helping each other out. And even though these are bad guys, in their head they're not bad people. So I just really like it. Every time I watch this film, that's the one scene that really makes me smile. And yeah, and I even like that, towards the end, Skinny Pete, he literally takes his hat off and gives it to Jesse, and is like, hey, it might help disguise you a little bit. Um, and Skinny Pete's just a guy with, thin hair and a drug problem, and he doesn't have a lot of money, but he just always idolized Jesse. And it's just one of those scenes that's so underrated. Whenever you see like clips of this movie, it's always the gunfight. Um, and it just, to me, I just really like this scene better. So yeah, shout out to Skinny Pete. And I kind of wish they would do some other kind of, you know, uh, sister film of Breaking Bad. Um, I might come up with some ideas and throw them out there. But anyways, just wanted to give my shout out to Skinny Pete. And hope everyone is doing well. Subscribe to the channel. Have a good one.